Hey everyone, Cherie here. Today I'm going to be creating an A5 notebook spread in my Felicity Jane A5 notebook. So you may have seen this last spread that I added into this notebook. This is the first one I've got in this one. This is for 2021. I'll just be adding to this throughout the year. So you can find these in the Felicity Jane store. They're absolutely gorgeous to use. Lovely plain white pages. I like to create my pages outside the notebook and then adhere them in so that I can add things like stitching and staples. So I've got this striped paper from the Millie Kit, which is going to be one of my page backgrounds, and then I've got plain white for the other. I also have my journaling printed out, and I've cut a piece of that same paper as the background, so it's like I'm creating a giant journaling card there. So all of the things I'm using today are from the gorgeous February Millie Kit. So I've got the essential label stickers here, I've got the puffy stickers, I've got the Millie Puffy alphabet. You can see I've got 2 words there already. I'm planning on using the Millie stamp set in this love word to go in between those 2 words to say Happy Love Day. And I've got 2 photos from Valentine's Day when my husband and I decided to go and have a really nice Valentine's Day breakfast together. So I think I'm ready to get started. I'm going to show you how I'm going to put this one together using the stamps and all of these beautiful things from the Millie Kit. So I'll pop you on fast forward and get right into it. To start off with, I'm going to do a little bit of stamping onto some white cardstock. Now this love word, I really want to curve this stamp so that it fits in with my curved title. So all I did was curve it slightly on the block. You can see that there. It's turned out really well. So I will give you a comparison. I'll put the stamp set next to it so you can see that just that slight curve makes all the difference. So while I'm here, I'm also going to stamp up this one here that says Happy Heart. So I'll do that a couple of times so I can use the best image. And then I'm also going to stamp the solid XO stamp as well. So just getting that one onto the block now. And that one stamps up perfectly as well. Now while I'm stamping, I'm also going to stamp a phrase onto the Essentials label stickers from this kit too. I love using the MISTI to do this so that you know you're getting the stamp perfectly positioned before you put it on there. And I just find this way I waste much fewer labels. So it's nothing worse than stamping on a label and it doesn't stamp properly. So this way, if you don't get it right the first time or you don't get good ink coverage, you can always go back in. So I've cut out my other stamped pieces. They're now ready to go. I'm really happy with the love word, how that looks with the curve in it. Alright, so now I'm going to grab my sewing machine and add stitching to my pages. And I've also added stitching to the journaling as well. So now I'm going to add this journal piece onto that pinstripe background paper and start working on putting these pages together. I do have the branding strip that came from that pinstripe paper. I'm adding that right across the bottom of the spread, so right at the bottom of both pages, and that extra little piece that I trimmed off you'll see me use again a little bit later. So just using double-sided tape on the back of these, and I'll adhere these ones into place. They do hang over the edges just a little, but I will trim that off a little bit later. So just working on that second one, getting that into position as well. And I am going to stitch across those with my sewing machine as well. So I'm just going to grab my machine and do that too. Alright, so that is done. Now I can start adding all of these bits and pieces to the page. So I've got my journaling going roughly in the center there, just working out my spacing before I start sticking things down. And I do want to add a little bit more color to this page. So I've grabbed the puffy heart stickers. These are also from the Millie Kit, and I'm just adding a mustard yellow one, a blue one, and a pink one. And these colors, you'll see a touch of those on the other page as well, because I'm going to use one of the little banner die cuts. Alright, so I'm ready to stick this one onto the page, and then I'm going to add my title at the top. So I won't make you watch me sticking all of these down, but I find that using your tweezers is a much handier way of doing it because you can just see more of what you're doing. So I'll go ahead and get all of those letter stickers onto the page, And for the love word, I'm going to add some foam adhesive behind that just to add a little bit of dimension. So just sticking that one now into place. And I'm moving over to the second page. Now I will come back to that first page to add the date a little bit later. So I've got my two photos going onto this second page. I've got that heart ticket piece going at the top of the photos. I've got that banner with the colours there that I mentioned before. And my two stamped pieces, the happy heart and the XO, with the happy heart at the bottom of the photos. And I'm also going to add in that stamped label. So just getting that into position, making sure it's centered as best as possible and nice and straight as well. And the lined paper does make it easier to get that straight. Just measuring that I've got it fairly centered, happy with that. So I'll go ahead and use that one as a guide to start sticking all the other pieces down. So I'll adhere my photos into place now, just using tape runner on the back of those, and that's a repositionable tape runner as well, which is really handy to have. So my banner piece still fits at the bottom there nicely. I've got that ticket going at the top, and I'm going to use a foam square behind that one just to raise it up a little. So that's going there. And I'm also going to add a puffy heart sticker to that too, just to add a little bit more texture, and I decided on the gingham puffy heart for that one. Now for this banner, I decided to raise this one up a little bit as well. So I'm just cutting up little pieces of my foam adhesive to go in behind that. And then I can stick that one onto the page. My XO piece is going right at the bottom there. So just adding a little bit of double-sided tape behind that one. And then I've got the happy heart stamped piece to go right at the bottom of the two photos. So that's going on there as well. So I decided I'm going to add some stitching to those pieces that I just added on there. So all three of the stamped pieces will have stitching. There's a closer look there. Now this extra little piece of the branding strip, I decided to fold it in half and just add it to the side of my journaling. So I'm just going to staple that into place, and I love that that's adding another touch of red to that page. So for the date, I decided to use one of the die cut labels from the Die Cut Shapes pack. Now I use StazOn to stamp onto the label. However, when I'm putting my double-sided tape on the back, I do smudge the ink. So you'll see in a moment I realize, oh, I've smudged it. So because I did do that little test stamp, that stamped perfectly on the white cardstock. So I'm just going to cut that one out and stick it straight over the top of the stamping on the label, which looks totally fine. And I quite often will add a stamped piece onto a label just to add an extra layer. So I've just adhered my label into place, just tucked it under the edge of the journaling there, and then sticking that other piece over the top. And I'm going to add some stitching across that with my sewing machine, which is going to keep it all together nicely and also add texture. To finish off, I decided to add some messy thread in behind that heart ticket. So I'm just carefully peeling that away so that I don't tear my paper or my photos. Adding that messy thread, just putting it in place there, and then I can stick that ticket back down. It's still nice and sticky. So that is this spread complete. I'll give you a closer look at the details here. You can see that little tab on the side. There's the date down the bottom there. And on the second page, you can see the messy thread under that heart ticket and those stamped pieces at the bottom. So now I can go ahead and adhere both of these pages into my A5 notebook, and I just use some double-sided tape for that, which works perfectly. So this is another spread complete in my A5 notebook. I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I've put this one together today using the February Millie Kit from Felicity Jane. I'll leave a link down below to Felicity Jane for you if you'd like to go and grab any of these goodies for yourself. Let me know if you've got any questions. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and I look forward to bringing you another project here very soon. I hope you'll drop by again. Bye for now and enjoy the rest of your day.